And our values, we chose them as a community: wholeness of spirit, spiritual and personal growth, collaborative, synergistic community, abundance and prosperity, love and compassion, appreciation and gratitude, peace and balance, power of freedom, diversity and inclusion, and generosity. All of these things are what we chose as a community, pared it all down, and this is what we all kind of stood for, and I'm glad that we're in this space together. You know what's so interesting is this song, this next part, I would like to ask Reverend Dr. Peggy to come up here and give us a spiritual mind treatment for the day in celebrating the divine energy that is the feminine, the mother, you know, that which gives us all life, you know, that which holds us in this earth right now, constantly giving us air to breathe and food from trees and all of these things. And we get to share that together as the children of this earth. And we also get to celebrate the part of us that is our mother part, the nurturer, the part that's the egg, if you will. And I know that some people, the navigator, may not have been the best to teach us and to grow us, but that is why we come together and we become the mother for each other. And so, because I have always been held so beautifully in this center, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna cry. When I first found this teaching, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I was just weird. I thought there was nobody else like me. And then I walked through these doors, and I could be all of it. I could touch into every single part of who I am. And right now, as I'm pulling back into my indigenous practices and pulling back to that which is my ancestry, thank you, because my birth mother could not hold for me. I was her caregiver, and I'd always sought mother, always caregiver for everybody, firstborn syndrome here. But then I walked in this door, and this woman looked in my face, and she hugged me, and she held me, and I cried in her arms, and she told me that my babies were not broken, they were blessed. And she said words to me that I use now: the enthusiasm of your children is wonderful to behold. Everybody else was telling me my kids were broken, busted, medicate them, something's wrong. And this woman held me. So when she speaks these words for spiritual mind treatment, right before we go into the indigenous blessing of the drum and then the production into the song, I'd just like to honor her as my spiritual mama. Thank you, Reverend Peggy.
And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day today. Whether or not you are a biological mother of anyone else does not matter on this day. We all are giving birth and nurturing one another. And our teaching wraps around this. I'm sure Reverend Cindy will be touching that perhaps in her talk today. But I always celebrate Mother's Day in looking at both the divine feminine in each one of you, whenever I look out at the congregation on Mother's Day, and also know that we lift one another up because we're willing to hold that nurturing for ourselves and for one another, and we bless the world because of that. And is there anyone here who did not get here through their mother? Please raise your hand. It's something we all have in common. Our mothers were the doorway to this physical life, and they were willing to endure pain and risk death to bring you into the world. And for you to know that about them, even if your relationship was strained in the years that you might have been with them on this plane, to know that you're here because they were willing to give birth to you, and what a blessing that is. And my two kids both have called me and wished me a happy Mother's Day, both yesterday and today, and I feel blessed, and I feel so blessed to be here. So let's pray together this morning, shall we? Let's just turn within and recognize the divine feminine in that allness of the divine. that which creates and sustains the whole universe, that which is giving birth right now to planets and stars and suns and the cosmos. It's all a mothering process, isn't it? And for us to recognize that we are an important component of that each and every person within the sound of my voice this morning and online in a recording or whatever exists because that divine feminine aspect of infinite spirit has consciously chosen to express through them. What a privilege it is to be on planet Earth at this time. I know that as we come together this morning, we bring our own experience of motherhood and childhood, the own baggage that we might have, that which may need some forgiveness, that which may need celebrating, that all of it wraps into this wonderful opportunity that we call Mother's Day to make this day all that it can be. I give thanks for each person who has chosen to be here at Center for Spiritual Living Ocala this morning on Mother's Day and share this love with one another. I also give thanks for the healing that is happening in the lives of each one. That if someone is coming this morning with anything that is in need of healing, that they find it. That nurturing nature of the divine wants only the highest and the best for each of us. That life force flowing through us, that divine nurturing spirit is forever blessing our physical bodies, our mentalities, our emotions, our relationships as we open to it. And I invite us to open wide this morning to allow Spirit's great love and nurturing nature to bless our lives. And then one more thing I invite us to bring to mind another person that we know could use healing today. Perhaps longing to know that they are loved. And that we can, in this prayer and throughout the day in our own thoughts, bring them to mind and know that Spirit is pouring its great good upon them. That fountainhead of life is flowing up through them, blessing their lives as they open to it, and I invite us to recognize that openness. I give thanks for Reverend Cindy's message this morning. I know that it speaks to each and every one in a unique and beautiful way, that their lives are forever blessed because they were here today. I release all these ideas into that law of mind that knows what to do with it, that goes forth into expressing divine ideas in every present moment, that our lives are blessed and truly blessed. We release it knowing it is already done, and so it is.
We respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional charity of the Temukua tribe, who have been the caretakers of this land for generations. We honor their ancestors and their continued connection to this land. We respect the past and present resilience of the indigenous people who call this land home.
this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. You know it. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself and it feels I've lost my way, where I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently saying, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love and only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only, feel it, love. There is only love. Anything outside of that? Just remember the mantra. Just a reminder. Close your eyes, listen to nature, breathe, and remember. Ashe, ashe, ashe. My sister, Reverend Cindy Grimes. I love you, honey. Come on down. You guys, joyful expressions. Joyful expressions. Let me just tell you something, right? It is not easy to do this kind of music and work through our emotions while we are giving your medicine, because we are the waitresses that bring the food that came through, you know, those artists and composers. But I gotta tell you, we are also doing our healing work up here. And anytime you feel that you need that moment, allow yourself to sing it and say it out loud. Because trust me, we're saying other things. Let us co-create something different. There's only love, y'all. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all who nurture.
Goodness. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a morning. Let me just preface by saying that because the holy water is flowing already. Anybody else? I've already been to church. Let's bear with me that I hold it together today. We got this. We got this. Yes, yes. So, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And bless all of you who are mothers, and bless everyone who came through a mother. We all share that in common, don't we? And so our special shout out, stand up if you actually are a mom. I just want to honor you. Yes. As one who shared that journey, yes, I honor each and every one of you. And I have my mother here today. And my spiritual mama over there, and I'm just so grateful to have you all here today. Let me just say, I'm going to need some tissue here. I can feel it already. Y'all know me, right? You know, the holy water flows easily here. My father was in the hospital this week and is at home convalescing at the moment. He was going to be here with us but was not able to join us. But my mother is here, and that's very, very special for me. And so thank you for being with me in this moment. So we do have one new person, but he's very familiar with our teaching, so I don't have to go into the whole thing with you, right? But our topic for this month is raise your voice. Raise your voice. Now, is there mixed messages with that for anybody else or just me? I see some nodding, yes. So I grew up in a time, this is not throwing shade to mom, okay? I'm just saying, this is kind of how it was for everybody back in that day, I think, that children were meant to be seen and not heard. Did anyone else ever hear that? Yes, yeah? So this idea of raising your voice, like, I have some mixed emotion about that. And it reminds me of this thing when I saw this. Has anybody ever seen this Spice at Publix? Slap Your Mama? The first time I saw this thing, Slap Your Mama, I thought, that was definitely not a Puerto Rican that put that together. Because there was no slapping of anybody's mama if you wanted to keep your teeth. So a lot of mixed messages around this idea of raising your voice, right? Certainly there was for me. And why is it important, though? Is it important that we raise our voice? Yeah, I think in this day and age, especially in this time that we are in, that we are all being called to use our voice in ways that are elevating. So we're not just raising our voices to be louder. We are raising our voices to elevate ourselves, to elevate one another, to elevate humanity. Right? And that's what we're talking about here today, raising our voices for that purpose, for our mutual raising and elevation. So we're having some experiences, we're having some circumstances in our country and the world. And I pulled a quote from an article I'm going to show you in a minute. But America is a country in deep pain. I started looking up the idea of epidemics, and we see that there is an epidemic of rage. Is our modern world fueling aggression? Turn on the news, go onto your social media. Are we having an epidemic of rage? It seems we are. A lot of angry people in the grocery store. It kind of feels like it's all around us, right? Then we've got an epidemic of loneliness and isolation. And that actually came from the U.S. Surgeon General's advisory, right? So the Department of Health and Human Services, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, says there's an epidemic of loneliness and isolation. And then all of these articles are within the past 5 years, but not like from this year, because this one says anxiety and depression is spiking among young people. No one knows why. No one knows why? Huh. All right. Let's put some things together. Yeah, let's put a few things together. That's so. And then we have this one. The U.S. has an empathy deficit, and that was from 2020, 5 years ago. If you think there was a deficiency or a lack of empathy in our country then, think about this one. America is a country in deep pain. The coronavirus pandemic, racial injustice, economic insecurity, political polarization, misinformation, general daily uncertainty dominate our lives to the point that many people are barely able to cope. People everywhere lack the sense that others care, which makes the medical, economic, political, and societal assaults on our fundamental trust in the world even harder to handle. Right? So I probably didn't need to say all of that because you all are living in it too, right? It's not just me. We're all feeling this thing that is happening. This what? The stuff. But there's something else, and there's a reason that I stand here in this platform, and there's a reason that I became a minister, and a reason that I follow this teaching, and it's because we have something here that is the remedy to that, because we know the truth beyond the circumstance. We know the truth beyond the drama and the pain, all of that stuff that's happening, and it's right here. Put your hand on your heart, right? Feel it. The answers are right here where you sit, where we each sit. This is from our Declaration of Principles from Ernest Holmes, the founder of this movement. And he says, we believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. And so this idea, right, that each one of us are spirit in expression, that this thing we call God is sitting right where you are. It's working through you. You are the eyes and ears and hands and feet and voice and mind and body of spirit itself, each one of us. And what we know is that we don't allow ourselves to be taken over by the circumstance, right? We know that what we have within us is bigger than anything that is outside of us. And if you don't know it, if you're not convinced of that yet, I affirm that you will be, because we need to understand that and know that so that we can move through this time of transition, right? Each and every one of us. Now, Albert Einstein said it this way, and I love this. He's in the Science of Mind magazine this month. He says, a human being is part of a whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Right? So we are all, even though we are all part of this one body, this one thing we call God, right? On this one planet, this one life, we feel like we're very separate. But it is a delusion of consciousness. It's a delusion of consciousness, and that comes from a scientist. Yes, he says this delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affections for a few persons nearest us. Our task then must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Right? So that's the idea. It's easy to love the people who are in close. Well, maybe not for all of us. Sometimes they're harder. Right? But we're not it doesn't end there. It doesn't end with these people, right? Our love is in these concentric circles. And that's how we change the world, right? Is understanding and knowing that it starts here, meaning we love ourselves and we love the people as they come, in closer. Yes? Okay, can we all agree with that? Awesome. So we are all on the same page with that. So this idea of finding, raising your voice. As I said, I was raised in that time where kids were meant to be seen and not heard. But even within that, there were mixed messages. I was also the oldest child, so there were times when I was expected to raise my voice. And you need to let us know what's going on with these other little folk here. That's up to you, right, as the oldest sibling. And then there was school, of course, where the teachers, because I was a good kid, I was a good student, I was smart, the teachers liked when I used my voice, but my classmates didn't like that so much. So there were all of these mixed messages, but somewhere along the line, I found my voice. But I found it first using it for others. And so widening circles of compassion, right? It's not just here and just my family. my circle widened over my life, and it continues to widen. So this picture is a picture of my mother and her brother when they were kids. And so and I got permission from Mom to share, so my grandfather was never in the picture, so he was not part of raising them. And my grandmother suffered from mental illness and was not able to take care of her children. So my mom and her brother went to live for time in an orphanage, and then time in foster care, and then time with relatives. And that was something that was really kind of pivotal, as part of my ancestry. Then on the other side of my family was my dad with his 12 siblings, and lots of family. And, my dad's another story. We'll get into that another time. But my parents had me and my little brother. And as I said, I'm the oldest. See, I'm taking care of people already. And then there was a point, I think I was 8 years old, when my parents decided that they were going to take in foster children. Because my mother had had that experience as a child, she wanted to open our home, right, to be a loving space for other children as had been done for her. It was a way of paying it forward. So at one time there were 4 other kids in our house besides me and my brother. We went from him and I, myself being the princess of the house, of course, to now having to share everything with all of these other little hellions. And they were, whoo, as you can imagine, they were a challenge. But it was all part of, there's so much, I'll get into all kinds of tangents if I go too far into it, but it really was pivotal to making me who I am. And now as I look back on it, and as I look on it as a parent, what an amazing thing it was for my parents to open their home that way. And folks thought they were crazy. They were crazy. I don't remember how old you were, but in her 30s, to suddenly go from 2 kids to 6 kids, and kids that had a lot of pain and a lot of trauma, right? And we know that hurt people hurt people. So there was all of that going on. But I learned at a very early age to care about other people, right? That we don't just look after ourselves and look after our own, that we are all part of the same human family. And so I honor my parents. I went on to become a victim advocate. I worked for the state attorney's office with crime victims, so people who had experienced sexual abuse, domestic violence, child abuse. I helped those folks get ready for trial and to be in the system. And I became an investigator with the Department of Children and Families. The person who knocks on the door with a little card that says, I work for the state, and I'm here to investigate you for allegations that you have been neglecting or abusing your child. People never wanted to see me. Whew, that wasn't any fun. But it was in that work that I learned to raise my voice. And it's something, I don't know if it's my makeup, I don't know if it's because I'm a firstborn child, I don't know what that is about me, but I felt it necessary. I'm the one who's always out there for the underdog. I'm going to speak up for somebody else. I didn't always learn how to speak up for myself, but I did learn that through speaking up for other people. The widening circles of compassion, right? How important it is for us to not just be about ourselves, but to be about other people. And I love this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Our voices begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. I learned at that very young age what was important to me and what my values were and what mattered, even as a little kid, as an 8-year-old kid, because of the example of my parents and because of what my family had been through. So there are ways that we can raise our voice, and maybe that's where the mixed messages come in, because sometimes people raise their voices and it's not always good that's coming out, yes? Right? Sometimes we raise our voices and we inflame situations. We can make them worse, right? I shared with you last week, some of you were not here, about a coworker of mine. We used to do these workshops when I worked for the state, going around the state of Florida and teaching people how to advocate safely and effectively on behalf of families. So this guy was one who get very incensed when he saw a child being mistreated. But he would be in a public space and see somebody who was maybe, maybe getting physical with their child or something, and he'd bring attention to it. Hey, y'all, this guy likes to beat on little kids. What do you think of that? Hard. Now that he raised his voice for sure. But what do you think would happen to a child in that situation? He made it worse. He made it worse. Probably didn't even have to wait till they got home. That was happening in the parking lot. Right? Look at what you did to me. Look at how you embarrassed me. And so he would make the situation inflamed and would make it worse. So there are people that you have to pull out of their shell to say something, and there are those that you have to say, okay, let's tone it down, right? Let's calm ourselves, and let's do this in a way that is effective and that is elevating for everyone. Right? So that's what I want to share with you. How do we effectively raise our voices? And I don't just mean in volume. Again, I'm talking about elevating. How do we raise the conversation? How do we raise other people? How do we make sure that we are a beneficial presence and that people are actually better off because of meeting you? How many of you would like to be that person? Right? To know that the world, that the people around you, that your family, that your neighbors, that your friends are better off because you're in this world. Yeah? I think that's who you are, because I think that's why we're all here together. It's not a mistake that you're here today. So, back it up. What do I mean by do your work? Do your work. Do your work. The shadow work, right? What else? Practicing compassion, yes. When I say do your work, it's do what it is that you need to do to be who you came here to be, right? Because we all came here for a reason, and it's not to buy stuff. It's not to be a consumer. It's not to have the biggest, fanciest house or car or eye candy on your arm. That's not what life is about. Right? We each come here with our particular gifts and talents and abilities to bring something to the greater good, because we are all part of this greater good. Right? Each one of us. So how do we do that to our very best? That's what we teach in this place. That's what we teach here, right? So the first thing that is so important is to address your own unhealed pain and trauma. Yeah. Self-mastery, right? Yeah. That's probably the hardest part. It's probably the hardest part, because it's real easy to look outside and look at the world and say all of those things that need to be fixed out there, right? But the only place that we really have any power is in here, right? So we have to look at ourselves. We look at our own pain, look at your own drama, and not just to look at it, not just to wallow around in it, but to say, what is this here to teach me? Right? What lesson is there? What am I here to, how is this helping me overcome? How is this making me stronger? Exactly. You can't give what you don't have. And so if you've had some pain in your life, if you've had some trauma, welcome to the club. Right? It's absolutely generational. So we have an opportunity ourselves to heal all kinds of trauma, whether it is our own personal trauma or the trauma that has come from generations past. Right? Right? Like my mom and my dad deciding that they were going to take in foster children, right? To help somebody else's family break those cycles of trauma and drama. That's right, because we feel the pain, and there's a term called the wounded healer. How many of you know that idea of the wounded healer? Yeah, mostly everybody, right? So the wounded healer is someone who has some type of pain, some kind of challenge in their lives, and they meet that challenge and they come out on the other side. Think of the AA mentor, right? Someone who knows addiction, has come through that and come out on the other side. Now they're holding their hand out to bring other people up along with them, right? That is a wounded healer. I'm sure there are many wounded healers in this room, because very often it is our pain that gives us access and reminds us of why we're here and what is ours to do, right? So do your work, address your own unhealed pain and trauma. And if you don't know how to do that yourself, we've got some spiritual, right, practitioners, raise your hand, practitioners, ministers, right, that do this kind of work here. Yes. Okay, the next thing, in doing your work, assess and examine your passions, your purpose, and your values. That's a lot of what we do here. In fact, the whole first few months of the year, we spent a lot of time identifying our values, because that helps us stay on our track, like what is important to you, and it will help you to do what is yours to do. So assess and examine your own personal, your purpose, your values, your reason for being here, right? And very often your passions are a clue to what that is. The thing that you love to do, that is Spirit's desire for you. So do more of that. Do more of that. To effectively raise your voice, set clear boundaries. Set clear boundaries. Yes, I'm seeing some yeses. Those of you who have been through the dark times, especially, know how important it is to have those boundaries. And I'm not going to get into this into a big, that's a whole workshop, actually. It's probably multiple workshops on learning how to set your boundaries. And the one boundary that I will speak of that I think is so important in this day and time is to remember that we're all on the journey, that we don't dehumanize other people, ever. Right? Not in our language, not in our behavior, that we have to remember that we are all human beings on the path, every one of us, no matter where we may be on the socioeconomic ladder of things. We live in a culture right now that is very stratified, and we know who's at the top of the food chain, yes? And we know those who are on the bottom. But that is false. That is false, because that is not what Spirit created. Those are man-made levels. And I choose to flatten that out here, right? That we are all in the same humanity, right? Each and every one of us. And so we don't dehumanize other people ever. Don't put up with it. Don't indulge in it. Don't do it. Because it is a slippery slope. When we start to look at other human beings as less than human, it allows us to commit atrocities. And that is what has happened. Just look through history. Look at what is happening right now in our country. That there are people who are looked at as less than human, and they're being treated that way. And it is a stain on all of us. And it's the kind of thing that will bring down the entire system. Right? So we must stand up for one another. Right? And remember that we are all human beings, and we do not ever dehumanize another human being. We're all people, every single one of us. Yeah. So boundaries, be very, very clear in that boundary. Doing your work, all right, stay curious. Expand your sense of self, questioning everything. If you're sitting in this room, you're already one of these people. Right? Raise your hand if you're the person in your family that questions everything. Yes? Research and verify, and then research it again. Right? But we stay curious. We stay curious. That is how we expand. That is how we expand. So we have to stay open and curious. The minute you think you know all there is to know, I'm sorry. Life has a way of giving you that slap down and reminding you don't know so much, yeah? Yes, it happens. So to effectively raise your voice, you want to stay curious. You want to stay curious. Know that we can all learn from one another. right? And we can all teach one another, but we have to be open to that. When you think you already know all of the answers, it's done for you, right? And that's not how life works. So expanding your sense of self, questioning things. I'm used to the questions. You know, a lot of people, like they wonder, because you're a minister, you're supposed to have all the answers already. I said, no, I don't have the answers. I have maybe some of my answers, but I don't have yours. I'm here to help you find your own, because nobody knows your answers better than you do, right? Not here to fix you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to fix any of y'all. You realize, you know that? Not here to fix any of you. I'm here to help you get in touch with who you are at your core, right? So that you can be your best. Yes, yes. Elaine said, for those online, that that's the entrapment of traditional religion. People are looking for somebody else to fix them. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. Sorry, I'm here to help you find your own answers, because you take you wherever you go, right? So stay curious, expanding your sense of self, questioning everything. Do your work. That's part of doing your work. Embrace your personal power, moving beyond paradigms of dominance and submission to collaboration and partnership. Boom, right? Right? We live in a culture that's, very power over, and some of us like that. Tell me what to do so I don't have to think about it. I don't have to make up my mind. Then it's on you, right? But that's not what life is about. We're here to embrace our personal power, to move beyond those paradigms of dominance and submission, to know that we are all in it together. We all have roles to play, right? We all have things that we are to do in this crazy thing called life. But it's not about dominance and submission. It's about collaboration and partnership. And if we can do that, even if we just do that within this room, to hold one another up, to help one another. So I help you find your answers. I don't have your answers. Or just stand, right? We just stand, just send you the good juju over there. It's a win-win situation. Exactly. Because we all have our own stuff to do. We all came into this life with our own passions and our own purpose and our reason for being here. So let's support one another in that. How could I possibly know what is Donna's to do? Right? No way. That's right. So we need to do our work. Stay in our own lane and do what's ours to do. My life is enough. I don't need to be all up in your business. Okay? Practicing compassion for self and others. This is really where the rubber meets the road, I think, of practicing this, of compassion, of love, because really it's why we're all here. But it starts with loving ourselves. So understanding that we are all human, that we all make mistakes, but we have compassion for ourselves. This is how we elevate ourselves and other people, is remembering our humanity. And it's both things. It's our humanity and our divinity. Right? As human beings, we make mistakes. All of us do. All of us do. But the truth is that spiritually, we are all perfect and divine beings. So we want to let go of the stuff that does not represent who we are. Right? And to have compassion for ourselves and other people as they're going through that journey. Because we all make mistakes, every one of us. So we practice compassion. To effectively raise your voice, do your work, practice compassion for yourself and for other people. And then this one, courage. It takes courage to live this way. Right? It takes courage to be authentic. It takes courage to repair those rifts, the harms, the issues, and then to offer grace and forgive as needed. So courage isn't a lack of fear, or it's not a lack of that, chatter mind. It's recognizing it and getting beyond it. Because we all have it. Because we're all human beings. Because we're all in this crazy journey where we don't know what the heck is happening next, right? But we know that we can tap into that universal energy, to the God self, whatever that word is for you, to the higher self, that each one of us has the capacity to tap into that. but you have to quiet the noise. This is where your spiritual practices come in, right? To understand how to quiet the noise so that you can find the answer that only you have for yourself. Now, it might come through somebody else, but you have to be able to recognize it. And that's where that self-understanding and self-awareness comes from. So to effectively elevate your voice, these are the things that it takes to do your work, to do your work. And I hope that everyone in this room, I know everyone in this room is doing these things to some degree or another, yes? That's why you keep coming back. All right. Do your work. And when you do this work, when you are doing your work, then you can raise your voice on behalf of others. Right? What is it that I'm not great on my scripture, but how are you going to take the speck out of somebody else's eye when you've got a log in your own? Yeah, a telephone pole in your own eye. So do your work. We have to each do our work so that we can show up in our best possible way for ourselves and for others. And the work is ongoing. Yes, thank you, Elaine. It doesn't end. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you are living and you are breathing, you have work. You have work to do. Do you have any days off? I think yes. I think those are the moments of spiritual practice where we nurture ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. A little sunshine, maybe some time with your favorite animal, a little time outdoors. Yes. Activating the divine feminine. Absolutely. Yes, yes. So I love this quote from Gandhi. Well, actually, I didn't know this quote. Most of us know the other quote, right, about being the change you want to be in the world, which I don't think he actually said. But anyway, he says, "We but mirror the world. All tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body." We are mirrors of the world. Think about that. Right? How things show up inside of you. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change toward him. This is the divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is, and the source of our happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. We can change ourselves first. And as we do the change within, it's so magical how things outside of us then change. As above, so below, right? So we can only do our own work. We can't do somebody else's work. Right? We can only do our own. And that's enough. That's probably more than enough. But it takes that time in making that shift from looking outside to looking within to see what is mine to do. What is mine to do, and how can I do that in the best possible way that honors myself, that honors spirit, and that honors the people around me. And so I'd like to do a little meditation with you. Many of you are familiar with it, a loving kindness meditation. Many of you have done that? Yes. All right, so I'm going to invite you now to just take a deep breath and get yourself nice and settled into your seat. And feel your body start to relax. With every breath, your body relaxes a little bit more, but your mind is more in tuned and more connected. In this meditation, we'll practice feeling and being the expression of loving kindness toward ourselves and others. Take another deep breath. And just let that tension ease away. No worries, no concerns, nothing else to take your attention away but your breath. There's just this moment and the sound of my voice. With every breath you take, your body relaxes more and more. And as your body relaxes, your mind is more awake and more aware. Each one of us has within us the capacity for loving kindness. It is what flows naturally as we let go of the barriers to its presence. This love is a wish. It's a desire for the well-being of all, both ourselves and others. So we begin with developing loving kindness toward ourselves, allowing our hearts to feel the basic goodness that lies within. And if acknowledging that is difficult, picture yourself as a child, maybe 4 or 5, or a baby, innocent, sweet, loving, kind, generous. That child is still there inside of you. Or maybe look at yourself through the eyes of one who loves you or has loved you deeply. Maybe a friend, a grandparent, or a pet. Think about what they love about you. Think about your natural desire to be happy and not to suffer or to see anyone else suffer. Allow the feeling to flow through you. Notice the sensations in your body. Maybe it's a pleasant warmth, a sense of lightness and expansiveness. But just rest in this feeling of unconditional love for a few moments, allowing yourself to bask in the energy of loving kindness. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And feel yourself peaceful and at ease. Now we begin by offering words of loving kindness to the self. Silently repeat these phrases, offering these words to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Again, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Now bring to mind someone you love greatly. Maybe it's a relative or friend. This person, like you, wishes not to suffer and to have a happy life. Silently repeat the phrases, offering words of loving kindness to your loved one. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. And now bring a neutral person to mind, someone you don't know well. Maybe an acquaintance, maybe the cashier at the grocery store, neighbor down the street, the server at your favorite restaurant, or someone else sitting in the room near you. Remember, this person, like you, wishes not to suffer and to have a happy life. Silently repeat the phrases, offering words of loving kindness to that individual. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now bring to mind someone with whom you've had a difficult relationship. Maybe it's someone for whom you feel little to no empathy or compassion. Remind yourself that this person, just like you, wishes not to suffer and to have a happy life. Silently repeat the phrases, offering words of loving kindness to that individual. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Finally, expand your awareness to encompass all living things on the planet, including yourself, those you have met, and those you will never know. Remind yourself that all beings, just like you, wish not to suffer and to have a happy life. Silently repeat the phrases offering words of loving kindness to all living beings. May all be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. We bring this practice to a close by extending loving kindness to ourselves once more. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. Enjoy the energy of loving kindness that has been generated here this morning, and take it out into the world with you. Right. When you're ready, you can come on back. Open your eyes. Feel that loving energy flow out from here. I bet this place is shining really bright right now. Thank you. Spirituality cannot exist in a vacuum. Ignoring social conditions or the plight of humanity and activism cannot hope to transform the social order in the absence of mature spiritual development. That's why we come together in spiritual community, to uplift one another, to build our spiritual muscle, right? To share and to uplift each other. In the absence, let me go back. There we go. Yes, thank you. Both must grow beyond any form of privileged exclusivity. In fact, they must each embrace a relativity that joins them in service to the individual and collective liberation. Right? So what we're saying here is that we can't ignore. So many of us do spiritual bypass. You know what I mean with that? The world is out there. It doesn't touch me. We don't see it. I don't see it. I don't pay attention to that. But yet we're in it. We're in it. And if we are here, we have that, I would say we have an obligation to ourselves and to each other to not close our eyes to what is going on, but to know that we are bigger than all of it. And that through our change in consciousness, that we can bring change to the world. That we can be the change we want to see. That's the Gandhi quote you thought you were going to hear, right? That we can each be the change that we want to see in the world. Right? And from that place, we raise our voice. From that place, we elevate ourselves and we elevate one another. Right? So I hold that truth sacred for each one of you. And I ask you that you hold it for me and my family. Yes. And I thank you for our time together. And so it is. Namaste. Oh, I forgot the affirmation. You come on down. I'll say it and then I'll invite you to say it along with me. I speak from my heart. In doing so, I express loving kindness in an ever-widening circle of compassion for all. That's how I raise my voice. Yes. Now say it with me. I speak from my heart. In doing so, I express loving kindness in an ever-widening circle of compassion for all. And so it is. And so it is. All right.
These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? Love, are you ready? Joy, are you ready? Peace, are you ready? Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. Love,
Lilith,
I am ready. I am ready. Joy,
Isis,
I am ready. Peace,
Tara,
I am ready. I am ready to receive. These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Talk about gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. Compassion,
Kuan Yin,
are you ready? I am ready. Forgiveness,
Mother Mary,
are you ready? I am ready. Laughter,
Balmo,
are you ready? I am ready. I am ready to receive. Passion,
Aphrodite,
I am ready. Success,
Athena,
I am ready. I am ready. Abundance,
Lakshmi,
I am ready. I am ready to receive. These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready, ready to receive. Yes, I am ready to receive. Oh, I am ready to receive. All the gifts. All the gifts. All the gifts.
Thank you, Erin. Joyful noise. Joyful expressions. Joyfully expressing. I love it. I love it. So this is the time that we celebrate our gifts, right? The gifts of the goddess. I just know that all of us are blessed in this space and that we celebrate our abundance from giving, right? We give and we receive and we put that thing in motion. And so as we celebrate our abundance, I'm going to invite you to say this affirmation along with me. And I invite you to give as your heart, from the overflowing of your heart and your goodness. And know that you can't outgive God, right? None of us can. But this is how we prime the pump, is by giving. It's by giving. And so if you want to say the affirmation along with me, it is the nature of life to give of itself, as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talent, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed and I am a blessing. I am grateful. And so it is. Wonderful, wonderful. And so there's lots of ways that you can give. We've got a basket going around, and Erin has got prayer requests. If anyone has anything going on in their lives that they would like a little extra prayer support, you put it on that little form there, turn it back in, and then myself and our practitioners and ministers will be praying over those for each and every one of you. You can also give via text to tithe. That's a really cool way to do it. Once this number is programmed in your phone, you just send a text message with the amount of money that you want to give, and it goes right from your account to ours. It's a beautiful thing. So that number is 352-320-5110. You can also give at cslocala.org, or you can go in the little vestibule over there in that little giving station. We take money in all kinds of ways. It doesn't matter. We are glad to take it, and we put it to good use. So we'll now give thanks for our gifts and tithes. I am just so grateful for this community, for the generosity of everyone that comes to this place, for their generosity of heart, for their generosity of their resources, for their generosity in what it is that they do and they bring to the world. I just give thanks. And I give thanks for the prayer requests that were made this morning, just knowing that the answer to each and every prayer already exists in the mind of Spirit. And we know that these situations, these circumstances, whatever might be before the individual, is resolving right now for the very highest and best for each and every one involved. And so I give thanks for this beautiful community. I pray protection over each and every one, and I give thanks for knowing that each one is a light in this world, that each one raises their voice in a way that elevates not only their lives, but the lives of the people around them and everyone that we touch. So I release these words with joy and gratitude, knowing it is already done. And so it is. So it is. All right. So what is happening here at CSL? Thank you for the little guitar underneath it. I love that. So what is going on here at CSL Ocala? You know, every week is something different. This is the most traditional service that we offer is on Super Second Sunday. Next week, we will have Circle Sunday. That is the third Sunday of every month. And what we do is we take the topic. So this month, we're talking about raising our voices and what that looks like. And we'll do a short overview, and then we break out into small groups, and we answer questions in circle. So everyone is answering the same question. And what happens is you get a bigger perspective on whatever that topic is from the other people in your group. It's always a beautiful experience. So I invite you to join us for our third Sunday. And then fourth Sunday, we are talking about creating the beloved community through practical peace building. That's more of a podcast type format. You know, it'll be myself and somebody else here having a conversation with Q&A from the audience, and we're talking about this idea of practical peace building, how we raise our voice to elevate all of us and bring more peace to our world, to ourselves, you know, as it ripples out. So that is the fourth Sunday. And then the weekend after that is our weekend of joy. Woo, woo, woo! I'm so excited. How many of you have seen Amy and John? Raise your hand. Excellent, excellent. Amazing, amazing presenters. If you haven't seen them, Amy Steinberg is just a force of nature. Her music, right? Isn't she? Her music, her presentation, her everything, her heart, her art and her heart, both. Yes, so that's Amy is doing one piece of it with the music and the Friday night thing that will be, what are we doing? Kind of like oh, that's coming up next? Okay. There we go. What's that? Here. It's going to be here, yes. Yes, the whole weekend. Starts Friday night, and then it goes into Saturday, all day Saturday, and then we'll be wrapping it up together on Sunday morning. So Amy is also doing the Taizé portion is Friday night, and then there's just an open concert for anybody to come on that Saturday night. Suggested love offering, I think we said, is $20 or $25. I don't remember. But it well worth your time to come and hear it. Again, she's amazing. Once you meet her, you know, to know Amy is to love her. And then, I didn't talk about John Moore. John Moore and I met at the Big Sky Retreat. Did an amazing process. How many of you have experienced Family Constellations? Excellent, excellent. Yes, sure did. So it is a way to dissolve, to break through barriers, generational trauma, things that you might not even know. You know, I've talked about that there are things that we know, and there are things that we know that we don't know. And then there's a whole world of things that you don't know, you don't know it, right? And that's where Family Constellations works. Constellations is on Saturday. Constellations is Saturday. Yeah, sorry, this is the wrong slide. We don't have one in there for Constellations. But we're starting in the morning. It's part of the retreat. So 10 o'clock in the morning till I think 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we'll take a break for dinner and then have the concert with Amy. So I invite as many of you as possible to come. It really is an amazing experience. John and I met at the Big Sky Retreat the year, maybe you were there? In the newsletter. It should be in the newsletter, yes, if you want to get more information. Yes, correct. You can go on the computer and access the newsletter. It has the whole write-up for everything that's going on for that weekend. Okay? And I believe it's $150 is the suggested offering for the whole weekend. Okay? And then after service on June 1st is Pride Day. So the Pride, Ocala Pride no longer exists, I think, as an organization, but Claire Lancaster, who used to be part of it, has asked to use our space for a gathering for that day. So I invite our community to come out and support our folks. Yes, our rainbow folk from 1 to 4. And I believe she said to bring a bag lunch if you want to have lunch together. Okay, our fundraiser game night is happening Saturday, June 4th. Is that here? June 7th. I see that, June 7th at 4 o'clock. And that fundraiser is going to be so that our Joyful Noise, our performers, can go to the Posse Music conference in September? In September, yes. You want to talk about it? Who's that mic? Is behind me?
Music that we perform on the stage is new thought music from artists that do this kind of consciousness music around the world. So it's nice to be able to go and meet the artists and hear how the messages flow through them, how Spirit has used them to produce this music, and then to sit with them and to be able to know that we are also in that same thing. And to meet new ones that we then bring to our community and say, hey, this person's really chill, super dope person, they should come. And that's how we end up with our Amy Steinbergs and our Johns and our Bobs and things like that. So we love going as a community. We love going as a unit because I love it when people look at our little unit of 10 persons walking in and going, where are you guys from? Ocala, baby. Where is that? I love doing that to people. So it's a small town, but we are mighty. Little but Talawa is what we say in Jamaica. The pasta night is all about us raising money so that our group, Joyful Expressions, can go and, be able to stay in the Airbnb and have the van and the whole nine, the tickets to the event, all of that. So that way we can go. I'm sorry? If you're interested in the pasta dinner, please come and see me or Norma afterwards, and we'll give you a bit more information. It will be online, and it will be underneath all the different events. If you're not aware of what's going on, you can go to any one of our socials or on the website. And if you don't get the newsletter, I believe the newsletter is there on the website.
All right, excellent.
Dinner's 4 to 6, and then after that, we'll sing karaoke, hang out, just do fun stuff together.
This is a fun group, y'all. You have to know when we would go to Big Sky, Montana, people knew who we were. From little old Ocala, little tiny Ocala. Hardly anybody knows where Ocala is, but we go out and people know who we are in a beautiful way. Yes, we're shiny, can I say? We are shiny. And then next up in June, we've got Bob Saima and Shannon Plummer. How many of you have seen them? Shabab, yes. We love them. Come and support them. That is happening in June. And the Spirit Monthly newsletter for this month is out. If you're not receiving it, make sure that we have your name on the clipboard over there. so we can add you to it. And if you're not getting it, you want to see it, go to the website and you can sign up from there. What else? Science of Mind magazine is available. Again, the theme for this month is Raise Your Voice. The magazine offers all kinds of wonderful articles, but the really beautiful thing is affirmations for every day and a little thing for you to meditate on. So you can make it part of your spiritual practice. And it's in the bookstore. And
Yes.
Erin, who manages our bookstore, is going to tell us.
Yes, it is a dual
You got to
issue.
read 'em. All right.
So we have May and June. And I'm going to read today's daily guide, which is Mother's Day Love. You carry Mother Earth within you. She is not outside of you. Mother Earth is not just your environment. That's a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. And from Ernest Holmes, today, I know that the healing presence of life is within me, forever restoring my mind and body. We all owe our birth to our mothers, who we celebrate on Mother's Day. Nowadays, we recognize that Mother's Day celebrations are not just for honoring biological mothers, but also include the contributions of the nurturing individuals who served in caretaking roles in our lives. We might also consider that we owe our existence to Mother Earth, who birthed all life on this beautiful planet. Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Earth is our mother, nourishing and protecting us in every moment, giving us air to breathe, fresh water to drink, food to eat, and healing herbs to cure us when we are sick." Today, we celebrate and honor mothers of all kinds. For some of us, however, Mother's Day is a day of sorrow. We may feel sad if our relationship with our mother or with our child is strained. We may
You got this. You got this.
We may feel heartbroken if our mother or our child is no longer with us on this physical plane. We might also be mourning Mother Earth's plight as we witness the horrific destruction of our environment. If this is not a day of celebration for you, be gentle and kind to yourself. Know that restorative healing is possible. Practice breath awareness. Perhaps take a walk or sit near a tree. When we breathe with mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh states, we can experience our inner being with the Earth's delicate atmosphere, with all the plants, and even with the sun, whose light makes possible the miracle of photosynthesis. With every breath, we can experience communion. With every breath, we can savor the wonders of life. And the affirmation for today. Breathing in, I fill myself with peace. Breathing out, I appreciate life's wonders.
So it is. Be extra kind to one another today, right? And channel that mothering spirit, whether we actually have given birth as mothers or not, we can be that nurturing, loving presence for one another. And I invite you all to do that for each other. Yeah. Yes, dear. Did you have an announcement? Come on down.
we're having a garden volunteer day on the 17th. So the 17th, that is next week. That's next Saturday. We are having a garden volunteer day. We're going to be going and reinforcing the garden beds, but there's something for everyone to do. So if you can't or don't want to do physical work, there's also some pulling weeds. There's a little something for everyone, so please come on down. And then the last dynamic governance workshop is also on the same day, May 17th. So if anyone wants to come to any of those and you haven't been to one yet, the last one is next week. All right? And yes, see me for more details. Thank you. Yes. Oh, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you for Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. He's done such a wonderful job of offering these classes in dynamic governance, which is a way, again, to flatten out the hierarchies. You know, we talked about those hierarchies of people. Here, we are all seen, all are heard, and dynamic governance is a way to make that happen, that every voice is heard and is part of the decision-making that we do here at this center. So that's really important for us. So if you want to know more about it, come for the workshop. The other thing he talked about was the amazing garden. If you haven't seen it, just see Mother Nature at work. It's such a beautiful thing to see all of our veggies starting to come in, and it's just really looking beautiful. So our veggies, yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We have volunteer opportunities both in the garden, on the platform, all kinds of places. So if you'd like to plug into our community, just let me know, myself or one of our practitioners, Donna, Norma. Lots of people you can talk to here. All right, our children, we want to bless our babies. What a wonderful thing, right, for Mother's Day. We have a new one. Well, come on.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, shine. If I dare, shine, shine. Shine, shine.
Isn't it awesome to be reminded of how we all come into this world? Right? Yes? Yes. All right, beautiful. And we want to send some love, you know, like to warm up our hands a little bit and send some good energy. And we say together, we honor you, we see your light, may it shine on all that you do. And so it is, and so it is. And then for ourselves, right, to honor that child within us. We say, I honor you, I see your light, may it shine on all that you do. And so it is, and so it is. Yes. All right, awesome. Is there anything else? Any other announcements? I think we've got some goodies over there. I see some pastries and coffee. So stay and hang out a little bit if you'd like to meet somebody new today. Thank a mom, even if it's not your mom. You know, we've got lots of beautiful, nurturing energy in here. I got my mama here. Say hello to her and give her some extra love today. Yes. Yes, and I'll ask you a personal favor, just say some prayers for my dad, who is meant to be here today, wanted to be here, but was not able to. So just send some extra healing energy and love to him, and our family greatly appreciate that. And so we'll close out with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Have a fabulous, fabulous week, everyone. Thank you for being here. Happy Mother's Day.